Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about Kung Fu Panda 4. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. This is Kung Fu Panda, obviously. Fourth main movie, and this series has been around for a long time, ever since 2008. Like, geez, 16 years old. It's literally old enough to drive. It's that old. It's just really depressing to think about. Anyway, so the first movie, like, on paper, it sounds really dumb. Like a panda learning kung fu. You're just like, okay, starring like Jack Black. You think it's just gonna be some goofy ass movie, just some junk food entertainment or something like that. But the movie turned out to be way more than that, and actually have heart and soul and badass action. So yeah, the first movie was a huge hit. It made 215 million domestic, over 600 million worldwide for like a new IP for DreamWorks. That's fantastic. So obviously they saw franchise potential in this, which resulted in Kung Fu Panda 2 in 2011. This didn't do as well in the States as the first movie. It only made 165 million, which is still decent, but noticeably worse. But it made up for it overseas and ended up making more than the first movie worldwide. I believe it was actually the highest grossing animated movie of the year. Well, animated movie of the year of that. Yeah, it was. It beat Cars 2. Although domestically, Cars 2 takes that spot. But yeah, I mean, Kung Fu Panda 2 probably wasn't the hit they envisioned it would be. They probably were hoping for like a Shrek 2 type of success, but they weren't able to get it. But it made enough for them to make a Kung Fu Panda 3, which came out in 2016. This came out in January, which is really weird because the other two movies were summer movies. So for this to be in January, usually that screams doom and gloom. But not really. The movie still has a decent reputation. And box office wise, I mean, for the franchise, it's the worst performing movie, but it still made over 500 million. So there's definitely still an audience for this. I mean, domestically, it fell off just like a bit. Not too well. It was like another like 20 million dip, but that's still a substantial amount, especially for January standards. That's pretty darn good. And now here we are, 8 years after that, with the fourth movie. So the Kung Fu Panda movies are obviously pretty consistent successes for DreamWorks. Sure, they're not the biggest movies, but they make enough money to justify their existence. And obviously it's not just the movies, like there's like shows and stuff, there's like games, it's a whole franchise. So yeah, Kung Fu Panda is obviously one of DreamWorks' more successful franchises, and the success of the first three movies, yeah, I'm gonna label that as a pro. So that's pro number one, brand name recognition. Pro number two is the fact that there has been no major family movies since December, since Migration. I know what you're thinking. But Malik, what about Soul? What about Turning Red? Nobody saw those. Okay, they barely existed on the big screen. We're talking about like big family movies that people watch. The last one we got was Migration, and that was like right before Christmas. So it's been a good 3 months since, and I imagine families are just begging, just pleading for something to come out so they can get the kids out of the house for once. And this is definitely going to be that movie. So, yeah, the fact that there's been no family movies in such a long time, and there's also the fact that there's a lack of serious, like, direct competition right now. I mean, I guess one could argue there's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which has a bit of a family element to it, but not really. I think the next real family movie to come out will be like if not if, then Garfield or the Garfield movie. That's way in May, so this movie has time to stretch its legs and make some money. So yeah, I'm gonna lack of serious direct competition. I'm gonna label that as a pro. Uh, Another pro, I guess, is I lost my train of thought. Shoot, hate when that happens. Well, I guess I could mention Thursday previews, like 3.8 million. I'm like, okay, that's it's quite a bit. It's a lot more than I expected, considering, you know, we're in March. It's not like it's summertime or anything, where it's much easier for these type of movies to you know make have bigger preview numbers because you don't have school to deal with. But I mean, compared to say the last DreamWorks movie was Trolls Band Together. That had a Thursday preview of 2.5 million if you round it. And then before then, I guess a comparable movie would be How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. That had a Thursday preview of 3 million. Granted, that was in a whole different era from the era we're in now. But that opened with 55 million, technically. Yeah, 55 million. I guess that had 2 million of special event previews or something. So, yes, but Trolls Band Together opened with like 30 million. How to Train Your Dragon 3, 55 million. So, obviously, this wants to be more towards 55 than 30. And just about early numbers, it seems like it will hit that within that range. And yeah, say its previews are quite good for what this movie is. Very good. So I'm gonna label its previews as a pro. And uh I think that's all the pros, really. I mean, I could mention, the voice cast. Jack Black is obviously the main guy here. I mean, this is Poe, okay? It's like him, there's Dustin Hoffman, it's Bryan Cranston, Viola Davis, Aquafina, Ian McShane. But I don't think anyone here is like a hard draw, really. But it is a notable cast. So I guess I'm gonna label that as a pro. And I think that's it with pros. Okay, well, this next one isn't like a pro or a con, but it's kind of, I have to mention, DreamWorks' track record. It's like hella mixed, to say the least. Like, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, let's go look through the whole history real quick. Start with Ants, then Prince of Egypt, both of which were decent enough successes. But Road to El Dorado bombed, but it became a cult hit later. It became a big meme movie later on down the line. Chicken Run, that was a hit. Then Shrek, that changed everything for them. Shrek was a mega hit. And Spirit, that didn't do great. Sinbad did terrible. Then Shrek 2 is still DreamWorks' biggest movie. They got Shark Tale, Madagascar, Wallace and Gromit, Over the Hedge, Flushed Away, that was a bomb. That killed DreamWorks' relationship with Artman. They got Shrek the Third, ew. B movie and another meme movie right here. Like, most of DreamWorks' movies are meme movies. I mean, like Road to El Dorado, Shrek, obviously. Shark Tale, well, not really Shark Tale. Madagascar, definitely. Over the Hedge, kinda. B movie, well, you know the answer to that question. Kung Fu Panda really isn't much of a meme movie. Not as much as other ones. Monsters vs. Aliens, How to Train Your Dragon, not really. Megamind, oh god, yes. That's definitely a meme movie. Uh, None of these other ones are really meme movies or hard meme movies. I know Rise of the Guardians has a big online fandom, even though the movie was a flop in theaters. But but when it comes to actual like box office success, I mean, yeah, Kung Fu Panda, Madagascar 2, Monster vs. Aliens, not really. No. How to Train Your Dragon, yep. Shrek Forever After. Megamind was a bit of an underperformer. Yeah, Kung Fu Panda 2, Puss in Boots, Madagascar 3, Rise of the Guardians was a flop. Croods did great. Turbo, flop. Mr. Peabody and Sherman, flop. How to Train Your Dragon 2 should have made more money. Penguins in Madagascar, flop. Home did all right. It did better than expected. Kung Fu Panda 3, Trolls, Boss Baby were successful enough to, continue the franchises. Captain Underpants did okay. How to Train Your Dragon 3 did decent enough. Abominable did meh. Can't really comment on Trolls World Tour. Cruise and New Age did okay considering the circumstances. Spirit Untamed flop. Boss Baby Family Business that didn't do great, but again had to deal with circumstances. The Bad Guys did decent. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish did great, a nice hit for them. Ruby Gilman Teenage Kraken flopped real hard, and Trolls Band Together wasn't really a success. So yeah, as I said, mixed bag. Oh no, not Mega Mind, the Dooms versus the Doom Cynic. Oh no, no, that movie. I've heard about that movie. I've heard it's horrible. I never want to watch it because I do not want to taint my memories of the first Megamind because I love that movie a lot, and I don't want those memories to be demolished. So I'm just gonna pretend Megamind, the Doom Syndicate, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in my mind. Doesn't exist in my reality. It's just not a thing, and that's where, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Because I know everyone was talking about it, how bad it was, how much of a disaster it is. But yeah, DreamWorks' whole legacy is very mixed, so that's why I'm not neither labeling it a pro or a con. What I will label a con is the fact that this series, it's old, man. As I already said, it's old. It's been 8 years since the last movie. 8. Do you realize how much has happened since Kung Fu Panda 3? Like, when you really think about it, it's absolutely insane. Like, it's baffling how much the world has changed since Kung Fu Panda 3 released. So, yeah, and the fact that obviously this being, like, this is like an adult oriented franchise, and it wouldn't be much of a problem. But this is obviously more family orientated. Like, the kids who grew up with the first Kung Fu Panda movie, with the first couple, they're grown. Okay, the chances of them still caring about this series, those chances are real or quite low to say the least. So you have to basically rely on people who are nostalgic for like the first Kung Fu Panda, or people who I wouldn't say they have like kids of their own. I feel like that's a little soon to be doing that. But maybe I guess in a way they could, kids who watched the first Kung Fu Panda, they could have kids theoretically. Could be like a multi-generational thing, but the chances aren't very high with that. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the target audience, like, obviously, like, will kids actually still care? Will they start to care about Kung Fu Panda? Like, current modern day kids, will they care? I don't know. We'll see, I guess. So target audience issues, like the age of the franchise, I'm gonna label that as a con. I didn't mention reviews for this. I forgot to. So its reviews are they're not terrible. They're far from terrible. They're just very, very aggressively okay. Has a 69 lol percent critic score, a 86% audience score, so word of mouth is decent enough. Its cinema score should be up now. It has an A minus. Cabrini has an A. Imagineer has a C plus. I completely predicted that. Kung Fu Panda 4 has an A minus. That's solid enough. So word of mouth is fine. It's not great, but it's just okay. It's fine. So fine word of mouth. I'm just gonna label that as a bit of a minor pro. I guess another con really is that, well, there's Dune Part 2, but that's not really direct competition, but still a big movie. Next weekend will be fine, but after that, you got Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, you got Godzilla of X Kong, New Empire. Those are two big movies that are obviously going to take away screens from this. You got to deal with those later in the month, so I guess I'm going to label that as a con, like a future con. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So opening weekend, this movie was projected to open with like 50 million. I'm just like, really? 50? Like, kind of shocked me because considering like the age of this series, I thought people would kind of just stop caring about it, but apparently I was wrong. I thought it would open like in like the 40 million range, like what Kung Fu Panda 3 opened with, but from according to early numbers, it's gonna hit 50 million, which is very impressive. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna open between like 50 to 55 million, and its total it should have good legs. Realistically, I don't think it's gonna be too fan driven by OG Kung Fu Panda fans. um, I don't think so at least. Maybe 170, 180 final total, I guess, would be fair. It could do better than that. I don't know, but that's what I'm going with, and that's what I'm sticking with. And that's it for the weekend. Yep, that's over. Unfortunately, next weekend is going to be too crowded. There's too much going on. I have 4 movies to talk about. Ugh. I have a title of a movie that I'm not sure I could really say. I'm just gonna say it: The American Society of Magical Negroes. Well, that's the title of the movie. Don't get mad at me. Is that Arthur the King, One Life, and Love Lies Bleeding? So yeah, it's a very slow weekend. And like, if things went like the thing is, we could have gotten Dune Part 2 next weekend instead of, the first, because the first was supposed to be with Fall Guy, but then I got pushed to May. So that would have made the month a little more interesting, but nothing was really able to fill in that March 5th void. Nothing big, at least. So yeah, stay tuned for all those prediction videos next week. And yeah, so yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. We'll check on more videos like this. I got playlists on the homepage, all previous prediction videos I made on the channel. You want to watch any of the ones I've done this year, the past few years, you want to watch any of them, go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I talked about Kung Fu Panda 4 one time, and that was episode 148 when it got its 2024 date. And even like in the description, I described it as because I guess DreamWorks are too scared to give a Shrek 5. That was my thoughts on Kung Fu Panda 4's existence. Let's see, I talked about that with Fall Guy in episode 148, and that's it with that. I'm now made 236 episodes. If you want to watch any of them from beginning to now, want to binge them all from beginning to now, I highly encourage you to do that. So go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. February recap, I made that several days ago. March recap, that won't be till the first week of April, like between the 5th and the 12th. And I can tell you right now, March is looking a whole lot brighter than January and February combined, because March actually has big movies that are making money. Some of that hasn't happened in a while. So, yeah, that's nice. So, yeah, stay tuned for that video. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.